Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Where are you right now? This
Uh,
place seems very familiar to me.
I'm in the D18 co-working space
Wow.
on
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
in the 6th district in Budapest.
mhm. Last year, I had a number of workshops there, and actually, the first time I went to that place was when you and Jackie Das, you had your workshop on goal setting, and I really
Mhm.
like the place. So, Alex, first of all, please introduce yourself.
I'm a speech coach. I do TEDx talks, conference, keynote speeches, startup pitches, and anything else that's one person communicating to many people, online, offline, you name it. I was an English teacher for 15 years, and I still use a lot of that in my training because most of my clients are non-native speakers. So we do a lot of pronunciation and intonations, things like that to help give some power to the words.
Alex, and I
Yeah.
know that you are from Canada, and I know that you came to Budapest about 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Why would anyone from Canada like to come here to Hungary, to Budapest?
Oh, that's a great question. And I tell people that I kind of got sucked in to Budapest, not necessarily Hungary, but this city. And I came here in 2018 for 1 month to do a course. It's an English teaching course called CELTA. And my plan was to go to Dubai and keep teaching business English, but I needed this certificate to do it. And I have a friend in Dubai who has been there for several years, and the plan was that I would go there. I lived in Korea for 9 years, and I was making my way to the Middle East. But something happened when I arrived in Budapest. I started to fall in love with the city, and the moment I decided to stay, I was having lunch with a friend, and he said, "So, what do you think of Budapest?" And I said, "I love it." And he said, "This is January. If you love Budapest in January, you are going to go crazy in the summertime." So, based on that, I decided to extend my stay until the summertime, and that was 2018. And I'm still here. I live here. This is my home now.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I decided to postpone my plans for Dubai indefinitely, and now I'm here and I'm growing roots in the community here.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I'm very happy that you are there in that day 18 or day 18.
Hmm.
So today I'm not going to ask you about your speeches presentations, but today I would like to ask you about your new project, your project which uh, which is actually is just amazing for me that someone from Canada has started doing this project. And please tell us about this new project.
Happy to. I'm happy to. So when I first arrived in Budapest, there was a couple of things that really stood out to me. One was the architecture, because when I came to Budapest, I came to do a course. I didn't do a lot of research before I came. So when I landed, I was amazed by the city itself. And the second thing that quite shocked me was the amount of people that were not just begging on the streets, but living on the street. And it's not something that I'd ever seen before in anywhere I've ever been. And I've been to India and I've been to Hong Kong and all Southeast Asia. And it was just not something that I'd ever seen before. And I'm sure it exists in lots of other places. But to me, it was a shock because it's Europe and it's the EU and I just found it really shocking and surprising. And the more that I looked into this subject of homelessness in Budapest, the more shocked I became because although there's lots of people that are doing everything that they can to help, it's still obviously not enough. So I started to think of ways that I could help. And it started as developing a product that I could sell to tourists and donate the proceeds. And because there's so many tourists here, or there were so many tourists here, just a nonstop flow all year long, right?
Yes, I hope we will have a lot of tourists.
Yeah, we miss them now.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't like them when they were here. Now we miss them. Isn't that funny? So in 2019, I finally had a product that I thought was interesting and unique and would be attractive to tourists, a piece of Budapest. And I started this project. And so the idea was to sell handmade art and donate the proceeds to a local homeless shelter to provide nights of shelter. And that was the kind of the campaign, was to provide nights of shelter. And really what it was is donating the proceeds from sales. And what I found were a lot of people who came to me that wanted to know how they could get involved. And I really didn't have a lot of opportunity except for things like translating into Hungarian. And I was working on my website, but I was happy with Facebook. And the more people came to me, the more ideas that people had that they could help. And then I just decided that it was not about me, it was about forming a little community of people who could help. And I started to add artists and add services. And today, Budapest Street Project is quite different. And it was started on my birthday in 2019. I used my birthday as a trampoline for the project. And today, there's 3 ways that people can get involved. The first is that they can buy something from the web shop, and half of the proceeds go to the artist, and half of the proceeds go to a charity that the customer chooses. And right now we're paired with 2 charities, and I'll talk about them in a second. So the first way is you can buy something from the web shop. The second is if you are a business owner or professional, you can partner with us and donate your services. And we found a web developer. It's called M&T Marketing. Wonderful guys and girls who have designed the web shop, and they do all of our marketing as well. It was wonderful. Also a photographer who's one of our artists, and a separate photographer who helped with some editing as well, all donated services. So that's the second way people can get involved. And the third way is to volunteer to do good deeds. And this is the one that I'm most excited about because it's so simple. It's just people coming together, donating their time towards one cause. And in this case, the cause is the cause of homelessness. People that speak Hungarian can go to the shelter and spend time with homeless people. What I mean by that is talk, read, play cards, play board games, this type of thing. And the people who don't speak Hungarian, we have a separate kind of volunteer track, and it's helping the Streets to Homes Association, one of our partners, prepare flats for homeless people to actually get them started in rebuilding their life. So we have volunteer activities for everyone, and the idea is to meet once a month, just for the afternoon, all together to just give to this community, which is really underserved, like I've never seen before. So this is basically Budapest Street Project.
This is fantastic. I'm absolutely amazed. And I've seen that you are also an artist. You call yourself the founder of this project and also a street printing artist. Could you show us some of your masterpieces?
Sure. I like that you call them masterpieces.
Of course.
Behind us, there's one. What I use is, it's in the center. It's this one. And using the manhole covers, the service covers on the street, we're able to use those as like a printing machine or as a printing instrument. And I have a video about how I do it. It's quite a process, but it starts with the silicone mold and textile paint. So it's like a reverse stamp, if you will, using the manhole cover. And I'll get a little bit closer so people can see. This one is a monochrome one, and it's the big manhole cover on Vasiutsa. This is another one of our artists. Her name is Angelika. She's Hungarian. She does pen on ink. She's very, very good. And this is our photographer, Sina. That one's a little bit more difficult to see. And finally, we have Fritz, who is our graphic designer, who designs these really cool bags with all Hungarian language on them. So as you can see, everything is related to Budapest. The pen and ink drawings are of the city. And of course, my stuff is from manhole covers for now. And street photography and the Hungarian culture and language are embodied in the bags. So you can maybe see a trend in the products in that we want to give tourists and anybody a unique piece of Budapest that's not made in a factory in China and flown in. People are more and more not wanting that type of thing. They want something that really speaks to them and that reminds them of where they were. And if they can buy something that also gives back to the community, I think that those are just the icing on the cake and will make people want to support the project.
Thank you. Great, really beautiful things, Alex. And you have mentioned that you have a team and you meet once a month. Who is there in your team? Are these Hungarian people or are these international people?
So we have a small core group of people who helped. We produced a video earlier this year where we interviewed Clara, who is a homeless woman. We talked to her about her story. So this is the team that I talk about as the video team, as well as just some friends of mine who are interested in helping out as well. And the call is gone out to anybody who wants to help. And we have as much. There's as many homeless people and there's as many flats to be cleaned up as we can manage. So the call is still out for people if they want to participate. And the next one is September, the first and next one is September 5th. So we're still trying to get everything organized to accommodate everybody. And no matter what people have as for talents, whether they want to share their talent or teach their talent or skill, we think we can find an audience for that too. So it's really about what each individual has to offer and wants to offer. And we're not going to ask anybody to do anything that they're not comfortable doing. That's really important to us. The main thing for me with this is that it has to be good vibes. Everybody has to be feeling good, and it's about trying to ease the suffering of other human beings, if not just for a few hours a month. And the reason why this came about, and it's new, this volunteering good deeds part is new, and it came about from our interview with Clara. Now, I won't spoil the video for you, but I'll tell you that at the end of the video, and actually throughout the video, Clara, who is a homeless woman we interviewed, she kept interrupting the interviewer to say thank you. And she wasn't, we hadn't given her anything. She was thanking us for stopping, for talking to her, for asking her questions, for listening to what she was saying. And at the end, she thanked us multiple times, over and over and over. As we were walking away, she just kept saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And at one point in the interview, she said thank you a few times, and our interviewer asked her why. And she said that most people that talk to her, they want something from her or they want her to do something. And we didn't want anything from her. And that's what she was thankful about. That we just wanted to spend time with her and talk to her and listen to her. And that really sparked a huge light bulb for me. And I thought that if this is missing for this woman, it's probably missing for others as well. And the more I talked about the volunteering idea, the more support that built up around it. So this is one activity that we don't see any other groups doing, and that we want to try, and we think it's going to be a big success, not just for the homeless people, but for the volunteers too, and just to bring this community together, because there are lots of ways to volunteer in the city, especially with the homeless. But this is one area where we think that it can really make an impact. Yeah, so I'm excited about it.
This is really fantastic what you are talking about. And I'm just thinking now about myself. I haven't really talked to too many homeless people, really, because you know what I think that the average person does, or you just turn away from homeless people. So, and this is what I have seen. And I remember years ago, a friend of mine and me, we were traveling somewhere, and a homeless man came to us. And somehow both of us just didn't dare looking at him. Because somehow, if you have this kind of eye contact, maybe you feel ashamed that you're not homeless and this person is homeless. And maybe you start feeling ashamed that you do not help him or you do not help her when you could do it. Because what you have just mentioned now, it's not really money. So of course we can also talk about money, but what caused you just to stop and to have a conversation which will warm someone's heart? Because and this is what you are talking about this homeless woman and about her story, that she felt that people who have homes, people who have salaries, so they start talking to her, and this is fantastic.
Right. And the thing for me was, and I talked to a lot of my friends from all different cultures and countries, and we really have a choice when we walk past a homeless person on the street, and the choice is either to put money in the cup or not. And I've had debates with people whether they should or shouldn't, and what the ramifications are for each one. But this is something different. And with the web shop, the money, we know it's going to a reputable charity that's established and credible and transparent. And that's something that was an issue for one side of this debate. And the other side is that usually we're in a hurry. We're going somewhere. We're living our lives. But what we do in this project is we make time. We plan the time. And it's just 4 hours a month. But that creating time is the special part, is the important part of what we're doing. And when you make time, then you have the time, you know, you're not in a rush to get away or disengage with the person. And you can really give them your attention, which is what I think that is a big part of what's missing from their lives, is real human connection with normal people who don't want anything from them except that they simply want to give their time and their ears, really. I think it will change the lives of the volunteers as well as maybe perhaps 10 times more than it will change the lives of the homeless people. I think there's so much in it for both people that it's going to be very interesting to see how things work out.
Yes, absolutely. I have seen that you work together with two charity organizations, Utcáról Lakásba Egyesület, or Street to Home Association, and another one is Oltalom Charity Society, Oltalom Egyesület. Could you say a couple of words about these organizations?
Sure. So the Oltalom was our first partner, and we did a tour of their facility, which is a huge facility that has not only a night shelter and a soup kitchen, but they also have a hospital. They have a place for single mothers with children, and they have, as well as an independent women's shelter. There's a chapel there. There's the sports program. They have so many things there that we felt that was a really nice match. And when we did the tour of the facility, we were really surprised at how clean it was and how orderly it seemed and how genuinely nice the people were there that really seemed to fit with the good vibes that we want to spread. So that's the Otolom shelter and charity. And the second one is the Streets to Homes. And this one was so inspiring when I heard about what they're doing that I asked them, please, can we be a partner with you guys? What they do is they find apartments in the city that are vacant. Now, I didn't know this, but there are thousands and thousands of unoccupied flats in Budapest. What they do is they find empty flats, they locate the owners, and they try to strike a deal with them to use the space for homeless people to live in, so they can put in families and people to start rebuilding their lives. And usually the flats are dilapidated and falling apart, and they need people to help fix them up and replace things and paint and this kind of thing. It usually starts with some demolition work, and there's not enough volunteers for that. So this would be a great opportunity for us to match our volunteers with the things that they need to do, and will give us a feeling that we're really doing something, physically doing something that has an impact. So those are the two charities that we have now. And of course, we're happy to entertain other charities as well, and also artists. We're looking for artists that do something unique that is very Budapest and that we think the tourists and other people would love. So we're looking to add to this as well.
While you were talking, I just remembered years ago I had a student from Belgium. She spent half a year in Hungary with Erasmus grant, and for many years I had a contact. We wrote letters to each other, and once she wrote to me that she would go to Armenia. She would build houses, so she would rebuild houses for homeless people. And I was really amazed. So, and she told me about organization. I don't remember the name of the organization, but now I think that maybe it's very similar organization. So imagine someone from Belgium goes to Yerevan, and afterwards from Yerevan she went to a small village together with some other foreigners, helping some people in Armenia. So for me, it was just absolutely fantastic. And on your website, I have seen that you have a street photographer from Iran, Sina Karandishi.
Yes.
So, and he is also in your team?
Yes, he is. And he shot the video and edited the video as well, one of the editors, as well as he is the photographer, the street photographer.
Yes, okay, so it's him.
Behind us. Yeah, and he went to school here for photography, and now he's active with animals as well, with animal shelters, and that's something that I hesitate to talk about because it's not for sure yet, but it's something that we're hoping to include in the volunteer project. And that is for people to bring their animals to the shelters for the homeless people to pet or just to spend time with as like a therapy animal. Because the reason why I say this is because when we met Clara and we had our initial interview, and she said thank you so many times and was very, very happy that we were there. We went back to see her a second time and show her the video that we made. And the video, without spoiling the video, we asked her about her life before she was homeless. And for her, she was happy to talk about it, happy to give us the details, but it's painful memories, right? And so when we showed her the video, she wasn't really excited to see herself on screen. I'm not sure exactly what she was feeling, but I could sense that it wasn't that she felt bad, that she didn't feel great because the way she looked and the way that she's homeless. But we asked her after that what she needed, what she would like to have, and she was a little bit, she was slow to respond, and it was difficult to get her to speak after we showed her the video. But when I asked her, I remember that she, in the interview, she talked about animals. And I said to her, if it was possible for me to bring a dog here for you to play with, would that be something that you would like? And she sat up in her chair and her eyes opened wide, and she had a big smile, and she said, I love dogs and I would love to have a dog to pet. And, you know, even just for an hour. And this was another like little light bulb that popped up, and it's something that we're working on is whether it's people with their pets or if it's shelter dogs, that we're excited to try to match these things together, because there is quite a bond between homeless people and animals, and we see that on the street, and we see it's all over the world where we often see homeless people with animals. And I don't think it's just for protection. I think it's for companionship and unconditional love and lots of things that people need. So we're hoping that we can include that as well. It's a little bit trickier of a thing to organize, but we're hoping to get there. So that's something that we're excited to do as well.
Alex, and why are you doing these things? You invest a lot of time, you invest a lot of energy, and I'm sure that you also invest a lot of money, because I mean, if you do this, you do not have workshops, or you do not earn money with your clients. So could you share?
Sure. I've always been in customer service in one way or another. And I was a teacher. I'm still a teacher for the last 15 years. So there's something about helping other people that's really part of me and my purpose, I believe. Everything I've ever done that I stuck with involved people and usually helping people to do something. And nothing could be more true than language instruction, which is a very long-term thing. And when I saw I live in the 6th district, and there's lots of homeless people in this district. And when you see the same people over and over, and you realize that they're not just, panhandling for the afternoon, this is their life. And you see that over and over again, you start, my mind starts to wonder, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? And over time, this is what's kind of come up, and maybe I could sell something and donate the proceeds. And this is kind of how it started, but it's really snowballed since then. And I hope it doesn't stop with Budapest, and I hope it doesn't stop with Hungary. And the thing is that every major city in the world has homeless people, has tourists, and has something unique about it. Maybe their manhole covers aren't as beautiful as the ones here in Budapest, but there's these three things that exist in all cities. And these days, more and more companies and organizations are being held responsible for the community and the environment. And I think that this is something that could be in every city one day, is a company that exists to make profit, but then to donate that profit. So it's something that I'm excited to see if I can do. It's a new thing for me as well. I've started a couple of companies in the past that unfortunately didn't go, that ended, but there were so many learning opportunities that I took advantage of, and now I'm hoping that to use them here. And the thing is that being a foreigner here in this country has a lot of advantages when it comes to this kind of thing, because I represent the foreigner community, and a lot of my Hungarian friends, they can represent the Hungarian community. So there's really a lot of people that can come together. And when the tourists come back, we hope to involve them in everything as well, from the web shop to the business partnering and volunteer good deeds day.
And what do you feel when you help these people?
When we spoke to Clara, although I couldn't understand because my Hungarian is not very good at all, uh, you, you can feel what the tone in the words and the excitement or the pain, the emotion comes through the words. And just to hear her, she said it in English when we were leaving. She's like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," and that really stuck with me, and it reinforced in me that what I was doing was something that was right and that was valuable, and that I was pointed in the right direction. And we hope to make more of these videos and grow this project over time. But we also know that there's obstacles and there's pushback, and we're expecting that as well, and that's okay. But the main thing is that what we're doing is something that has positivity behind it, and is driven by human connection and the need for it.
And what are the main obstacles and the main pushbacks?
Some people ask me about my motivation for doing this, and people in general, I think, are distrustful of charities, perhaps because of a history of wrongdoing, or just in general. And I think that no matter where we come from, we question the motives of people who claim to be doing good things. So that's just natural, and it's nothing to do with Hungary or Budapest or anything. But there's also some political stuff, and I'm not. This is not a political project. There's no fight in what we're doing, but there is a lot of fight in what other charities are doing, fighting for rights and this kind of thing, and I commend them for that. And that it's a never-ending battle to try to get funding and to try to get legislation passed and this kind of thing. And my hat goes off to those people. But this project is different, and this project is focused on good vibes and love and humanity. And I know it might seem a bit naive, but I hope to prove those people wrong.
Yeah, for me, it's just amazing. I'm so happy that I can record this interview with you.
Me too.
Alex, and I hope that the people who are going to listen to you, I hope that many of them would like to help you in this noble task.
Should I remind them? Should
Yes.
I remind them how they can help?
Yes, please. How could they?
Our website is budapeststreetproject.com. That's where you'll find the website that's where you'll find the web shop, where you can purchase products designed by local artists who live here in Budapest, I should say. That's also if you own a business, where you can sign up to partner with us, and we accept all kinds of partnerships, big and small. And finally, you can sign up to be a volunteer on for the Good Deed event, and that is on September 5th, coming right up. So the surveys are out, and we ask you lots of questions about your abilities and your skills and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And based on that, we find what we think is suitable volunteer opportunity for you. And it's up to you whether you want to go through with that or not. But we try to accommodate everybody. And I think that we're going to do just that.
Guys, if you are listening to this interview, I hope that many of you will be there on September the 5th. I myself, unfortunately, cannot be there because together with my daughter Veronica, we are going to have our retreat, mindfulness hike and yoga retreat, about 1.5 hours away from Budapest. Alex, what would you
Yeah.
like to say or at the very end of this interview?
I just like to say that a lot of people see the problem of homelessness as too big to do anything about. And I think nothing could be farther from the truth. And just by doing one thing, each of us can make a small impact, and together that impact grows by an order of magnitude that we don't even understand yet. So it's easy to be cynical about this type of thing, about what kind of impact one person can do. But the more that people get involved, the bigger this thing can get. And I'm going to stick with it until it gets as big as I can get it to be.
Thank
That's
you.
my last message.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. I wish you and your project all the best. And thank you so much that you, who is a foreigner here in this city, have started doing this project. I'm absolutely amazed.
Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.